Welcome to The Explainer. Look, the cloud security market is absolutely exploding right now. We are talking about an industry that's projected to hit tens of billions of dollars over the next few years. It's driving some of the highest salaries, the most exciting challenges in the entire tech sector. But if you're a software engineer, an IT pro, or just a massive tech enthusiast looking at this space, you've probably felt like you're standing outside a heavily guarded fortress, right? Just looking up at a locked gate. You know the fundamentals of tech. Yet when you try to break in, reading that incredibly complex documentation, trying to skim those elite forms, it just feels impossibly dense, like it's deliberately out of reach. So, I want to start off by validating exactly how you feel right now. You are not crazy, and that feeling of being locked out, it's completely real. But the reason for it is absolutely not what you might assume.
Listen to this. You don't have a skills problem. You have an access problem. And no one in the cloud security industry wants to admit that. I really want you to just pause for a second and let that sink in. Today, we are going to completely dismantle that imposter syndrome you might be carrying around. Because for years, the narrative pushed down from the top has been that cloud security is just, too complex, too advanced, that it requires this elite level of baseline genius to even get a seat at the table. Guys, that is a complete fiction. It's literally just a protective wall built to keep the circle small. You are absolutely capable. You just haven't been given the keys to the building yet.
All right, let's get into Section 1, the skills myth.
I really want to slow down here because this statistic is genuinely jarring. Less than 1%. Think about the millions of software engineers, network architects, and IT operators out there working right now. These are the exact people building the incredibly complex global networks we all rely on. They handle massive, intricate databases. They write the code that literally powers modern civilization. Obviously, they possess the intellectual firepower to handle complex systems, right? Yet, out of all those incredibly smart, highly capable individuals, fewer than 1% have ever actually been equipped to succeed in cloud security. It's a staggering paradox. The very people who build the infrastructure are effectively blocked from learning how to secure it.
Fewer than 1% of engineers have ever had the tools or community to do this properly. And here's the kicker. That tiny percentage is not a reflection of your intelligence. It's not about your work ethic or your capacity to learn complex technical stuff. It is a glaring reflection of an industry that is actively keeping people out. I mean, when 99% of a highly educated, highly technical workforce is failing to penetrate a specific subfield, you really have to realize that the problem is not the workforce. The problem is the system itself. It's a system that has been designed, intentionally or not, to restrict entry.
So let's look at how they do it. Section 2, unpacking the barriers. Let's methodically list out these specific barriers. Because they don't just exist in isolation, they stack on top of each other to create this unfair artificial wall against everyday practitioners. First up, expensive certifications. We are talking about vendor exams and boot camps that cost thousands of dollars just to participate. That effectively prices out anyone who doesn't already have corporate backing or some unlimited training budget. Second, closed communities. Cloud security has historically operated a lot like an exclusive country club. The deep knowledge, the organic mentorship, the real-world problem-solving, it's all siloed away in private Slack groups and invite-only forums. And third, honestly the most frustrating one, enterprise-only tooling. Think of this like trying to learn how to fly a commercial jet without being allowed inside a flight simulator. You can't just download a free open-source version of a multi-million-dollar enterprise security platform to practice on your laptop. If you don't already work for a massive corporation that pays for the tool, well, you simply can't get your hands on it. So the whole thing boils down to this comparison right here. The industry lie is that there is a skills gap, that there just aren't enough smart people who inherently understand cloud architecture. But the reality is that there is an access gap. This right here is a massive aha moment. The minute you realize you were dealing with an access gap rather than a skills gap, the power dynamic shifts completely back to you. When you feel frustrated by a lack of progress, when you feel like you're banging your head against a wall trying to transition into this field, you are not bumping up against your own intellectual limits. You're simply bumping up against these systemic access barriers. Which brings us to the solution. Section 3, talent versus access. To bridge this gap, we clearly need an innovative approach. And that is where Oz University comes in. The model here relies on a completely different paradigm. It is a system, not a course. Because let's be honest, the industry absolutely does not need another fatiguing 40-hour online video series where some talking head drones on about theoretical compliance frameworks. That passive learning model is totally broken. Oz University is fundamentally different because it's a comprehensive system explicitly designed to grant you the access you've been denied. It gives you the collaborative community, the hands-on enterprise-grade tooling, someone else talk about it. Tarek sums this up absolutely perfectly. Talent is everywhere. Access is not. You already know how to code. You already know how to troubleshoot networks, configure servers, build applications. You have all the raw materials and the intellectual capacity right now. What Oz University does is finally hand you the access to apply those raw materials to security. Your potential doesn't need to be proven anymore. It is completely validated right here. The only thing missing was the environment to let that talent actually thrive.
Where you have to make a choice. You can stay frustrated by those expensive certs, the closed communities, and the locked-away enterprise tools. Just accepting the passive frustration that the industry has historically handed you. Or you can actively empower yourself. You can step up right now, completely bypass the gatekeepers, and take the access that you rightfully deserve to level up your career. The path is finally wide open, but you have to be the one to decide to walk through it.
So, here is exactly what you need to do right now. Subscribe to this explainer series immediately. Do not miss tomorrow.